everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so the last few days we have been covering the story about Micah and James Stauffer. The couple announced on their YouTube channel, Micah Stauffer's YouTube channel, that they gave an important family update regarding their adopted son, Huxley. Huxley had helped this family shoot into fame in 2016 and 2017 on YouTube because they started sharing their adoption journey of adopting him from China. Through this adoption story of more than 20 pre-adoption stories and then a ton of clickbaiting of his updates and clickbaiting of his name on their other channel, Stauffer Life, they amassed a fortune. James was able to start his own channel called Stauffer Garage, which has over 900,000 subscribers and makes a ton of cash. So there has been a lot of backlash, like a ton, and we are going to start to unpack some of this and talk through some of the latest developments. One of the first things I want to get to right off the bat is that yesterday her attorney actually, yep, that's right, James and Micah Stauffer have lawyered up. On Instagram, their attorney has been very busy trying to shut anyone down being critical of them or speaking out to sponsors. And then in a statement to People and then on to BuzzFeed, this is what the attorney said. They released this statement to BuzzFeed. We are privy to this case, and given the facts at hand, we feel that this is the best decision for Huxley. In coming to know our clients, we know they are a loving family and are very caring parents that would do anything for their children. Since his adoption, they consulted with multiple professionals in the healthcare and educational arenas in order to provide Huxley with the best possible treatment and care. Over time, the team of medical professionals advised our clients might be best for Huxley to be placed with another family. This is devastating news for any parent. Our clients came to the difficult determination to follow the advice of the medical professionals. To be clear, this did not include any considerations for placement in the foster system, but rather to hand select a family who is equipped to handle Huxley's needs. They were forced to make a difficult decision, but it is in fact the right and loving thing to do for this child. We have advised our clients not to say anything further at this time, but it is likely they will share more when the time is appropriate for them and all involved. We should be clear that Huxley is a 4-year-old child whose privacy should be fully respected. We know our clients would ask for your prayers and support and to respect their own privacy with what has been the most difficult decision of their lives. Obviously, this statement by the attorney made some fans outraged because James and Micah Stauffer had made a fortune off of Huxley. Over the past 3 years that they have been in care and in the process of adopting him, they have exploited nearly every aspect of his life, from even before they met him, disclosing all of his personal information, all of his records related to his health and his disabilities, to then when they adopted him, having all of it filmed, even including some of his worst meltdowns and some of the most challenging moments, and then to clickbaiting and discussing every single advancement, update, and diagnosis of Huxley while they had him in their custody. Fans are obviously upset because when it was convenient to them, they were able to exploit him for a ton of financial gain. But then when it was not convenient to them, they want privacy. Quite the turn of events. Interesting to note, the attorney also made it clear in that statement that medical professionals asked them to place him in a different home. This is a very unusual request by a medical professional, and in my estimation and in a lot of people's opinions, a different picture is starting to form that perhaps medical teams and doctors were concerned about Huxley's care. Perhaps they felt he was either being neglected or not getting the proper care he needed. Perhaps they felt as though they had too many children in their home to care for him. Maybe they even were concerned about allegations or things maybe of neglect or abuse, and perhaps made the decision to ask them to place them in another home. Was it a situation where medical professionals said, you must place him or we will contact CPS? Or was it, you should just consider placing it? It seems like an extremely odd request for a doctor to make that decision without knowing or without the insinuation that CPS involvement could have been in play here. Obviously, those details would be sealed. This is just my speculation, and others are suggesting this too. One of the other aspects here is with the exploitation of the family of Huxley and the amount of money they made, what kind of benefits did this family receive as a product of his story? And now they want privacy, but what kind of income did they receive and what kind of benefits did the story of Huxley generate this family? Well, a dive into some property records and then some skimming of different videos on their YouTube channels, I was able to locate the following. Shortly after adopting Huxley in 2017, they purchased a property in Delaware County, Ohio, for $670,000. They teased this and clickbaited this on their YouTube channel as their dream home. The home includes and brags to have over 5,700 square feet, 3,824 above ground, and almost 2,000 square feet below ground, with 2 stories, 4 bedrooms, 4 full bathrooms, a half bathroom, central heating, patios, brick masonry. This is the home in which they purchased in an exclusive neighborhood in Delaware County that's affluent. They were able to purchase a humongous home based off of all of the information that they shared. And before purchasing this home, they sold their modest house for $277,000. A massive upgrade, if you ask me. Not only that, on a YouTube video recently after she placed him with another family, Micah bragged about how Mr. James netted a whopping $42,495 on a video that he uploaded on Stauffer Garage that had 14 million views. She told people how to work the algorithm, how to get the most views. And in people I've talked to, they all say that prior to going live with everything related to Huxley, this couple had mastered the YouTube algorithm. And this is why you see clickbait titles, you see very provocative photos shared by her, and even cleaning, even the car cleaning is a fetish. I'm not even lying, and weirdos watch this because it somehow makes them feel good. So they're netting a ton of cash, like $42,000 on one video, and he has over 74 million views on that channel. Not only did they purchase a humongous house, but she often bragged about all the different things that she was receiving, and recently did a giveaway of a Louis Vuitton bag on her Instagram. Not only that, she bragged about having a $6,300 watch. They drove luxury cars, but then she often complained about the cost and expenses of raising Huxley and paying for his therapies.
I'm excited to see what happens. We're going to go to a different speech therapist, not the one that's $500 a month, but we're going to go to the one that's it's like $70 for 30 minutes, and he starts preschool too, so you'll get therapy there, so it'll all work out, but not $500 for 30 minutes. No.
This couple completely crowdsourced and used YouTube to fund the adoption, and also consistently asked followers to donate to fundraisers to help them pay for therapy, all the while buying a massive house, buying luxury cars, and netting a lot of cash on YouTube. Another development we should probably talk about and unpack is new information, or I say uncovering older videos about Micah. Very early in the adoption process, Micah was on YouTube telling people that Huxley rejected her, that Huxley had not taken to her, and James in videos even discussed the fact that he became the caregiver for Huxley. This was something that Micah was not prepared for at all and was very honest about it, and obviously received a lot of backlash because fans very early on started to notice that she was treating Huxley differently and not bonding with the child. In a video that I've uncovered since they've deleted everything off Stauffer Life on YouTube, all of their Stauffer Life videos are still on a Chinese YouTube type platform called Bilibili. In this video, she slams accusations that she is not a fit parent. But let me tell you this, her longtime subs and followers have been questioning her parenting for years.
You guys don't see what our family dynamic looks like. And most of our viewers are amazing. But then you have that few people that Micah's not trying to bond with Huxley. Micah doesn't love Huxley. Micah doesn't love James. Micah treats James like crap. This guy right here has it gold, and he knows it.
I do know that.
He gets treated better than any guy ever. And I'm gonna confidently say that. But you don't see any of the things that I do for this man. Ever. Because I don't pick up the camera. So I just want to come on here, and I know I sound hyper aggressive, and that's fine. I'll get the brunt for it. But all I want to say is I'm bonding with my kid. I'm doing what I'm doing. We put our lives on social media, and I'm not going to have people sit there and treat me like a fool because I'm not going to take it. I'm not the kind of person that just takes stuff, and that's fine. This can stir the pot even more. But all I want to say is I'm bonding with my kid. I'm a good mom. And I'm an amazing wife. I'm an amazing wife. There's a reason I landed such a good guy, and I take good care of him, I take good care of my kids, and I'm a damn good mom. And I'm not gonna have anyone in the comments sit there and try to tell me otherwise, because you know what? No, ain't gonna fly.
Very early on, this was in months. This video was made within months of her actually becoming the mother to Huxley or adopting him. Right off the bat, people immediately started noticing how she was treating him differently and how they were doing things differently with Huxley. One thing, obviously, that's come up that's been very controversial was the duct tape photo of him with his finger duct taped because they didn't want him to actually suck his thumb, but she allowed her other children to suck their thumbs. Another video I was able to uncover was more recent, and this was actually done in 2019 in the fall. They talked about why they treat Huxley differently. In this video, Micah discusses eating with Huxley, and then James turns around and discusses why Huxley goes to bed at a different time.
Never see us eat is because we take off the boys' shirts to pants whenever they eat, especially Huxley because he's so incredibly messy. He stains every single outfit and then he has no clothes left. So I'm I don't want to vlog that and have him not be able to, you know what I mean? I don't want him to be without a shirt on. Let's never see us eat food.
So now the baths are done. Huxley is laying down. And guys, Huxley goes in his room to lay down at 7:30 because I know people have been asking. He goes down usually early at the end of the day because Huxley is special needs. And in our house, he requires an extra amount of attention and just help with everything from Mike and I. So a lot of the times our attention is taken by him a lot more during the day. And at nighttime when he goes down at 7:30 because he's ready for bed, he's Huxley's 3.5, but he's kind of like a 1-year-old developmentally. So for him, nighttime is 7:30, a little bit earlier. And then we let the other kids stay up a couple extra hours just to hang out in our bedroom, watch a movie, and just kind of get that mom and dad time that, Huxley kind of takes during the day. And it's not that we don't love Huxley or that it's not as special, but all day long, Huxley needs just a little bit more attention. So it's our way of kind of giving the kids that as well at nighttime. So that's why sometimes you see Huxley go to bed before the other kids. He's also up at 5 a.m. when I'm up, and the kids sleep until 7. So kind of gets the same thing, just opposite end of the spectrum.
So James admits that he puts down Huxley early because he takes a lot of their time up. And during the day, he requires a lot of help. And then he says that gives him family time with their biological children, where they're all allowed to lay in bed with them and watch TV with them and have alone time. That on its own isn't a humongous deal. Huxley is a child with special needs, and he would definitely need different care than the other children, but that doesn't explain why you would put him to bed 2 hours early and then he wakes up 2 hours early. If you put them to bed all at the same time, theoretically they would all get up at the same time. This is an example to me of how he was treated differently. Not only that, she also explains that she put him in nothing to eat because he was messy, because she didn't want to deal with the laundry. Now I get it, kids eat, they're messy, but there's things called bibs, and there's ways to keep kids from not being messy instead of stripping them down. These were just a few examples of many, and then add to that the taped finger with duct tape for sucking his thumb, which was a comfort when she allows her older daughter to still do that. It shows to me that he was never necessarily, in my opinion, viewed as their own child. And despite her claims repeatedly that this was her son and she loved him and it was everything, I don't really buy that. Another update we have is we got to talk about Micah's inability to tell the truth. Micah told fans way back before she ever adopted him that she had nursing experience, and really she felt confident in adopting him because of her practice, because of her nursing practice. I'm going to show you the clip of where she discusses her nursing experience, and then I want to talk to you about what experience does she actually have.
As an RN, I kind of knew that I would be fairly comfortable with quite a few things because I have seen so many different conditions in my scope of practice. So my comfort level is very, very, very high. So for example, on the medical checklist for all of the conditions that kiddos could have, let's just say there's 100 conditions. Me and my husband were comfortable with 99 of the conditions. So we were very, very open.
In that video, she clearly says that as an RN, and this video was made in 2017, she says, as an RN, I feel comfortable in managing his care, and of the 99 out of 100 conditions that we listed that could come up with this adoption, we were comfortable with. A dive into her records and a background check of what actually happened, and talking to people that know her, Micah's nursing history was actually very limited, and in fact, when she made that video, she wasn't registered or a board registered nurse in the state of Ohio. According to records in Ohio, she obtained her nursing license in February of 2012. Her license lapsed by August of 2013. According to compliance information on the Ohio law website, it says that Ohio law requires nurses to renew their licenses and certificates every 2 years. Renewal requirements include submitting the board renewal application, completing required continuing education, and providing the applicable fees. Registered nurses must renew by August 31st of odd numbered years. You can choose to renew your license online. So what happens if you fail to renew? If you do not submit a completed renewal application by August 31st, your license will lapse. Unless you request your license to be placed on inactive status prior to then, lapsed means that you failed to fulfill all requirements of renewal for your license or certificate of authority. If you work as a nurse while your license or certificate of authority is lapsed, then you are engaging in the practice of nursing without a current valid license. Under Ohio law, in order to provide nursing services, a person must first have a current valid license, or in case of advanced practice nurses, you must have a current valid certificate authority. You must also have a current valid license in order to represent to others that you are registered nurse or use the title registered nurse or RN. In that video, she represented a lot of others, that she was a registered nurse. She said, as a registered nurse and in my scope of practice. She actually broke Ohio law when she made that statement. She was not a registered nurse because she had failed to renew her license. She was only licensed for a very short period of time. What could have happened that might have prevented her from renewing her license? Well, a dive into court records, yeah, that's right, shows that she actually was part of an altercation with a pregnant coworker that resulted in the coworker suing her former employer. In a court document that you can find under Justia, In a Sieg versus Mercy, a former employee of this care facility sued them for wrongful termination. In the court documents, they state that the pregnant employee was attacked, physically assaulted by Micah. Due to this physical attack and altercation, the plaintiff, the pregnant coworker, was fired. Micah was placed on a final written warning, meaning if she had one more issue with this facility, she would be terminated. She worked at this facility for a very short period of time. She gets into an altercation. She physically assaults this plaintiff, which was not disputed by her employer. And then I get this in my inbox from someone who knew her at that time, and she said this: she would just lie or exaggerate any chance she got. They always talked about YouTube was their ideal career. When she quit her nursing job at Community Hospital East, which I'm still not convinced she didn't get fired, she was going to focus on other aspirations. According to my sources that knew her and friends of hers at that time, they felt that Micah misled them and that she was actually fired because of her performance and that physical assault on the employee. I'm wondering if that poor rating and that poor report from that hospital may have played a factor in her being unable to secure another position and potentially making her not interested in renewing her license. Either way, in 2016 and 2017, when she represented to followers on YouTube that she was a licensed a registered nurse, she was not a nurse. Oh, the tangled web of Micah continues. And finally, the last update we have is sponsors are pulling out left and right. She, over the years, has been sponsored by so many different companies, and fans are outraged. They have been contacting these sponsors, and I have been receiving screenshots, and I want to show you the latest updates of which sponsors have dropped the family. Mosti Lausa said that they thank you for bringing to our attention. We do not have any further collaborations with her, and we support all children and their rights to a safe home. Another mother and breastfeeding company says that they understand that this is a very sensitive situation and many followers have strong feelings on what has occurred. Lanosa currently does not have any active or planned future partnerships with Micah. If she has recommended our products to her followers through her media channels, that is of her own choice. Another big sponsor was Budget Blinds. She constantly pushed them on her channel, and they said, thank you for reaching out. We are made aware of what has happened, and we have removed all of Micah Stauffer's content immediately. We partnered with Micah in early 2019, and we do not support her recent decision. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. LG also announced that she had been dropped. Please note that as of now, LG is not currently working with Micah. Big Lots, Playtex Baby, Chili's, and Danimals. It took Danimals quite a long time to make the decision. They had to do some more research, but after too much pressure from fans or from outraged former subscribers, they said, we have previously worked with Micah and are no longer working with her. We are aware of the news she shared about her family and are very sad to hear about this difficult situation. The only sponsor that we've been able to locate that she has promoted a lot is Fabletics, and we have not heard anything yet from Fabletics about whether or not they will be working with her. But it is important to note that she has been removing paid content off of her Instagram like furiously, and she also recently removed Fabletic promotion and ads from her Instagram account. So your voices are definitely being heard. Sponsors are for sure pulling out. Outrage continues to build, and Sophie Ross, who had been updating people about the status of Huxley, tweeted yesterday and said that she had received confirmation that a family was in process of formally adopting Huxley. So it appears as though there may be a happy ending for Huxley. No matter which way you guys shake it, and no matter which direction you go with this, using a child to build a brand, to exploit a disability, to exploit his life from the minute you even find out about him on a worksheet to the time you adopt him until the entire time you have him without any privacy is a humongous problem on YouTube. YouTube offers very little protection for children. Recently, they updated privacy protection, meaning that ads are no longer able to run on channels that are featured for children. The problem is these family vloggers seem to fall in this world of they're not necessarily for kids because a lot of adults watch these shows. And with that being said, there's still an opportunity for these vloggers to make a ton of cash. The problem is when you start working as a family business, when YouTube has no labor rights or laws implemented or safety for children, and parents are left to make the decision, there will always be parents that take things too far or are persuaded or fueled by greed to be rich. When a child becomes your vehicle to make your income and you then discard the child when it's no longer convenient for you, or you are unable to care for him because of the life that you've built around this child that was never conducive to begin with, and you chose this and built a brand around it, it becomes very clear that these family channels can be extremely problematic. And while many people are screaming that we cancel Micah, let's not forget that James played a critical component in this relationship. He was equally as involved, and you might want to consider the sponsors that he works with through his Stauffer Garage, which is their biggest money-making company. All right, you guys, I would love to hear what your thoughts are about all of these latest developments. Leave me some comments below. Bye.